How's it going, everybody? This is Mike Norris. I'm here today with Bill Chu, who is the partner at Insignia Financial Services. How's it going, Bill?
Thank you. I'm doing well, Michael. Thank you for inviting me to this.
Oh, no problem. Happy to have you. Why don't you get started by just telling everybody a little bit about you and your background?
Sure, absolutely. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Bill. I'm with Insignia Financial Services. My business model can be best described in this way. We are an independent, non-bank commercial financing broker where we provide financing solutions ranging from the acquisition of commercial real estate, equipment financing, to some opportunities where we will participate as the actual private lender to a business or an investment entity.
Got it. And you also have another company as well, too, that's more focused on sales solutions?
I do. So an additional business which I've started and I'm driving going forward is a business where we provide sales resources. I would use the simple descriptor. It's kind of like sales professionals on demand for
Oh, I
business.
love that. Okay, excellent. Well, why don't we start off by talking about the finance side a little bit and commercial finance, because obviously anyone who owns an office space deals with commercial finance in some way. Do you have any type of advice or just some best practices, rules to live by, anything of that nature that you'd like to share?
Absolutely. So when it comes to sourcing financing for a real estate asset, such as an office space, or even an industrial warehouse, these are just two examples that we'll use as part of today's conversation. It all depends on what will be the use of the asset. So one common use would be a business maybe wanting to buy an office building and running his or her business out of some of that space, and then maybe renting, leasing some other aspects, a fraction of the total space to other tenants, other
Mm-hmm.
business owners. In this example, um, the risk as perceived by lenders tend to be lower risk because, hey, rather than you, Mr. and Mrs. Business owner, renting a space from your landlord, you're now successful enough where you want to occupy your own space and you get the benefit of capturing some rental income from it. So the
Excellent.
financing solutions available out in the marketplace tend to be quite enormous. You'll probably have several things that any commercial lender, whether they're bank-based or someone like myself that's independent, can carry a conversation with you about. The other scenario is where if a business entity, or it could be one person or a group of people, they're looking to source financing to purchase an office building, but they don't intend to occupy it in whatever way. They're just buying it for the purpose as an investment because maybe it's fully leased, there's a strong rental income. And in this example, there's still financing solutions available to this investment entity, but the analysis will be placed more on the strength of the rental income, who are the tenants, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, got it. So the more appealing scenario is the first one where you're renting out a portion of your space and not necessarily the second one where you're using it just as an investment and you don't intend to occupy it whatsoever.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
first one tends to give you more access and open doors to financing solutions.
Got it. Okay. And would that be a sublease? Is that how you would define that?
Uh, It doesn't have to be a sublease. A lot of the times what a business entity may do is they'll occupy a fraction of the space and carve out some aspects of that same commercial space, and they'll just do a full traditional lease with tenant A, B, and C.
I see. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay. And then regarding the sales business, and this one excites me because I really like the idea here, and I
Okay.
think a lot of people have challenges with either A, not having a sales team, or B, being an entrepreneur who's just not that good at sales. In this instance, I mean, what kind of tips or help would you provide?
I think when it comes to any business, having to work the business of hunting for opportunities, getting in front of more clients,
Mhm.
it's really that of, in a simple metaphor, it's really that of matchmaking. Um,
Sure.
Matchmaking a solution to a business problem. And along the way, of course, being able to quantify how this solution for that business can either drive revenue by 1.2, 2x, or whatever that measurement is. That's one way to look at it. Or the other way to look at it is if the business application is that of things have been completed in the very traditional, inefficient way. The whole idea of this sales on demand business model is representing a client where they bring something innovative to solve that business
Hmm.
application, reduce costs, collapse a lot of what I call time obstacles to get to the same outcome, but in a better way.
That makes a ton of sense because I would imagine if you're a CEO or if you're just an entrepreneur who's getting started and maybe you've got a small shop going on, your time's very valuable. And I'm sure you spend a lot of time just with operations, supply chain, management of people, doing some of the work, services yourself, and to put sales on your plate as well. It could be a lot. Even if you're great at sales, that could just be a lot for you, and maybe you get more value out of your time by doing these other activities than you would by engaging in sales and prospecting, things of that nature. Would you agree?
That is correct. That is the belief that I have
Sure.
going forward that interested me to launch this additional business.
That makes sense. And I would imagine with your finance background, you do a pretty good job of aligning the time with the money and
Yes.
just looking at how it all works. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the old cliche is time is money. You don't
Yeah.
want to waste either one. And I think when it comes to any business that is either in growth mode or having to pivot to get to a new growth channel,
Mhm.
um, they both kind of coexist.
Sure. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, any last sales tips or anything before we head out? It's okay if you don't. I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
I would say the best sales tip is the one that Michael brought us together. And that is, rather than selling, as the one simple word sometimes has a negative connotation,
Sure.
it's really that of helping to connect someone to either a person, a people resource, or a solution that solves a problem. I think when any sales professional can focus more on the education, information of value, it simply makes the consumption of whether it's a product or a service by a potential buyer much more pleasant.
Yeah, I think everyone likes to buy things, but nobody likes to be sold. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that as well, and I'm a relationship guy. I mean, you and I were talking before this. That's what I'm all about. That's what I believe, and I think a genuine approach of matchmaking, as you called it, is the way to go. So
Yeah.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Bill. I really appreciate it. I think you've got some pretty valuable insight here for our viewers and listeners. If anyone wants to reach you after this video, Where should they go? Should they check out your website, send you an email?
They can best find me on LinkedIn. I am listed as William Chu. And then beyond that, they're free to engage me in a phone conversation. I'll gladly share with you my phone number, and that is 708-203-2258.
All right, sounds good. I'll be calling you later.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
All right, thank you, Bill. Appreciate your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.